Shalom, y'all. Today's video consists of Rob, Sally, and I doing a partial driving tour, partial walking tour. It starts out in the city of Cimarron, New Mexico, and I'll give you some history of the area that's pretty fascinating. And then we're going to drive on to Red River, and Sally, Rob, and I will talk a little bit about that town, and then we'll make our way back towards Angel Fire. And then at the end of the video, you don't want to miss it, some great playing between Jazzy and Kit. Oh my gosh, they are so entertaining. So do watch to the end. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, like, comment, do all the stuff, that helps the channel out. So glad you're coming along, and we'll see you down the road. Thousands of years ago, northeastern New Mexico looked much like it does today. Fields of grass waved in the breeze as bison moved leisurely along, grazing, then sitting, only to get up and graze again. Check out this plow, I guess is what it is. I'm not sure. Interesting. There's the front of it. The slow routine was interrupted by local nomadic tribes hunting the animals for food and clothing. Recognized only by the distinctive style of their stone artifacts, these early men went unknown until the early 1900s, when a cowboy discovered extinct bison bones with embedded spear points near the present town of Folsom, New Mexico. Folsom Man, as he is called, traveled from Asia through Alaska to America during the last ice age. Folsom Man followed the bison and other game to the Great Plains, leaving behind a void that was filled by other migrations from the west. These new peoples were sedentary, at first living in caves and later building dwellings and tilling the land. These ancient ones, or Anasazi to the Navajo who were aware of their ruins, developed into a vast, civilized culture stretching from northern Mexico to southern Colorado. They built large villages of pit houses with roads connecting them. They cultivated corn, squash, and beans along the fertile river valleys and made baskets and sandals and pottery. And they literally left their mark on countless canyon walls throughout the Southwest in the form of petroglyphs and pictographs, images painted or scratched on stone and termed rock art. Meanwhile, the Apachean tribes had moved down from Canada, with the semi-nomadic Jicarilla Apaches settling in northeastern New Mexico. By 1850, sizable camps had been established in Cimarron and along the rivers. The Jicarillas hunted buffalo and antelope in the plains and mountain sheep, elk, and deer in the mountains. In 1851, the Jicarilla Apaches signed a treaty with the United States, but misinterpretation, or rather a lack of interpretation, by the government provoked a number of skirmishes between the Apaches and the whites. In 1874, 1880, and 1883, the U.S. government proposed 3 different reservation sites. Finally, in 1886, the Jicarilla Apaches were assigned to their own reservation in the northwestern part of the state, without hope of ever returning to their beloved Cimarron homeland. Rock art from Utah and Colorado certainly suggests a long history of this nomadic tribe hunting and gathering among the Rocky Mountains. Throughout the 17th century, Spain tried to set up permanent settlements along the Rio Grande Valley with only moderate success. Attempts at subjugation, followed by hollow promises to the Pueblo tribes living there, led to continued frustration and hostility between the settlers and the Indians. By the end of the 17th century, other countries such as Britain and France were starting to make serious inroads into the interior of North America, and it became necessary for Spain to restate her claim. As new settlements grew into towns, these towns sent out their own expeditions into the surrounding territories. Contact with Ute, Apache, and other Indian tribes soon led to exchanges of goods between the Europeans and the Indians. El Camino Real, along which men and material moved north to support the new towns, now became a conduit for furs and hides heading south for export back to Spain. For some New Mexicans, it proved more economical to simply hunt for antelope skins, beaver pelts, and buffalo hides than to trade for them. In 1906, a line of the St. Louis, Rocky Mountain, and Pacific Railroad followed present-day Highway 64 from Raton to Cimarron with the intention of going first to Taos and then on to California. Although a tunnel was blasted through rock south of and prior to construction of Eagle Nest Dam, tracks would be laid only as far as Ute Park, 15 miles west of Cimarron. Arrival of a railroad meant big business, and the small settlement quickly grew into a thriving village. While the wooden bridge to Old Town was replaced with one further west, the hub of activity moved from the old plaza to the new train station, located at the southeast end of the village park. Cattle and lumber were shipped out in great quantities, and the new Cimarron town site, as the area north of the river was called, soon sprouted houses, churches, schools, a dozen hotels, and stores, with all the trappings of a modern city. As Newtown marched into the 20th century, Old Town remained behind. While the railroad, homes, and businesses north of the river served as the foundation for a new and vibrant community, the old adobe walls to the south settled even deeper into the past. After the railroad tracks and locomotives were sold for scrap in the early 1940s during the war, the village would come to rely on ranching as its main source of income. Yet, like a siren whose plaintive call drifts out across the land, Old Town Cimarron would soon attract those who longed to explore and experience the West as it once and truly was.
Red River Distillery.
And coming up on the left here is the only restaurant here that I've eaten in. And hamburger.
That white place. Hotel Ryland.
Yeah, this looks like an expensive place.
Oh, there's the Mother Lode on the right.
Dairy Bar on the left. That's where I stopped and ate hamburger.
Oh.
Burgers, fries, and more.
Sounds like it would be good.
It was pretty good.
I would imagine.
There's a pizza place. Jeep tours. I bet the Jeep tours are probably pricey, but I bet they're pretty good.
I would imagine.
Lots of side-by-side rentals. Lots of restaurants.
And lots of lodging.
Now this was what, about, would you say 30 minutes from Eagle Nest? Or was it a little longer?
Probably about 45. I don't know.
Something like that. Cute little town.
Lifts West Condominium Hotel. So I guess you can buy a condo there and probably make a lot of money leasing it out during ski season.
A lot of places
Red River Brewing Company. There you go, Sally. It's a huge one.
Yep, and we already passed the distillery.
There's the Der Market food store.
Der Market.
Look, Lost Hiker Deli.
Does that mean they're eating the lost hikers?
I guess
Maybe.
so. Oh. Yuck. I
With
wouldn't
some
go
fava
there.
beans.
And that is Red River, and we're heading towards Taos.
We hope, if we're on the right road, right?
And it's, no matter how much and how good your camera is, It doesn't compare to sitting right here looking at this.
I
It just
Say
doesn't
that all the time.
doesn't even come close.
But people do still appreciate seeing it. If they can't get out and see it for themselves. Watch for falling rocks.
I'll bet. Well, just look at formations like this, and it reinforces the idea that the Earth moves significantly given enough time. And when you start opening up that time frame from hundreds of thousands to hundreds of thousands of years, then you begin to get the idea that, yeah, the continents could have been completely differently. There could have been an advanced civilization on a continent that is under the ocean now, and everything related to them is recycled back into Earth stuff.
Could be. Interesting stuff to contemplate. This is the Cuesta Ranger Station
Ranger
over
station.
to the left.
Okay. I thought it was a campground. It's a ranger station.
What we got going on here?
If it was a bad accident, there'd be a lot more flashing lights. But look at the skid marks.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and they hit this car over to the left. White car.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Impact. 2 impacts.
That was a big impact.
Look,
At
2
least-
identical fifth wheels.
Yeah, well, at least one of those impacts must have had the impact.
It was the first one back there.
The one further back.
Yeah.
How bad was the front end of the truck? Could you
Not
tell?
very bad, I don't.
And it looks like it's probably commercial drivers transporting those.
Oh,
That
no.
could be, yeah.
The stopping distance is a lot less than you're used to if you're like me and been driven cars your whole life.
That's why people that drive cars need to drive a big rig of some sort at least once, just so that they get the feel of how different it is, you know?
The thing though is you really don't get a sense of stopping distance until you have to do it.
That's true.
And a lot of people drive for a long time before they realize what the stopping distance is, right?
That's true.
Oh, look. Now it's lap.
No! Y'all can stare down, but you can't play in my lap. My goodness.
This is probably the last time for a while, guys. Make the most of it. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Oh, great. Much easier.
Well, if you put a sign up that says historical marker ahead, it's always going to be true.
True.
Good one.
But it isn't always going to